What was that? Well, it appears we have today's video topic. Hello everybody, today we're taking a look at the Sips by box. This is a monthly subscription box that delivers tea curated to your taste. This box costs $15 a month and comes with 4 different teas. So the teas that you get are determined by a survey that you take. Now, when I took the survey, I tried to fill it out as best I could to get just loose leaf pure teas. However, it will not allow you to only select those options, so I had to make some concessions as to what I was willing to accept. Now though, let's do an unboxing and see what I got. Okay, so looking at this box here, the first thing you see when opening it is this paper with a summary of the different teas that you got. It tells you about each one and has some information about brewing. Up next are some muslin tea bags, which seem to be pretty useful if you need them. And it's nice to have these included just in case. Now, we have the 4 teas that are included in the box. First, we have a Bai Mu Dan from Made of Tea. Here we have a Nepali breakfast from Nepal tea. This seems to be a normal chai blend. Next, we have Yaopan, a caffeinated tisane grown in America. This is the American green Yaopan from Yaopan Brothers. Lastly, we have a Fujian Oolong from Bare Leaves. So looking at the overall collection here, 2 of them seem to be pure teas, while the other 2 aren't, with one being a blend and the other being a tisane. I'm going to taste these and report back as to how these taste. So now I've tasted all these teas, I'll give a quick review of each of them. First was the Bai Mu Dan, and it was just okay. It wasn't particularly complex and not very aromatic at all. It just had these standard hay notes and not much else in it. Now, when I looked at the leaves though, I noticed that there was a stark lack of any kind of buds in the tea. My theory, and I can't confirm this, is that this is actually not a Bai Mu Dan, but instead a Shomei or Gongmei. Again, I can't confirm this, but it seems likely. Overall, this tea got a 6 out of 10 for me. Next is a blend called the Nepali Breakfast from Nepali Tea. This is a chai blend and I brewed it with one of the included tea bags using the directions on the package, and this one was pretty good. As soon as you open the package, it's intensely aromatic, and when brewed, it was a really good standard chai, but overall this one gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Even though it is a blend and not what I was looking for, it still turned out pretty good. Up next, we have the American Green Yaopan from the Yaopan Brothers Company. This is a tisane, specifically a type of holly leaf grown in America. This tisane is naturally caffeinated and has a long history of use in Native American cultures, which I plan on doing a video on in the future. This tea was actually pretty good. The smell of the leaf is somewhere between a smokier Chinese green tea and a mate, and the flavor was similar to the smell of damp foliage in the fall, mixed with holly leaf, which makes a lot of sense considering this is a holly plant. Even though this wasn't what I was looking for, this one is still probably one of the best teas in this box and gets an 8 out of 10. Finally, we have the Fujian Oolong. Now, this is the one I was most looking forward to, but it is also the biggest letdown. The flavor isn't complex at all. It's just the basic roasted notes that you'd get from a mildly roasted oolong, like this. In this respect, it's a lot like a gift tea you'd see labeled as a Dahang Power Other Yancha, that actually is a more bland imitation of said yancha, usually not from the Wuyi Mountains, usually from somewhere else in Fujian, or not in Fujian at all. What's worse is that the only other flavor present in this tea is a disgusting sour taste that fills the mouth. This flavor lasts so long after you take your last sip of this tea that it's just honestly really disgusting. This tea was a major letdown. It was pretty bad and gets a 3 out of 10 from me. Overall, these teas were a mixed bag, and the ones that I was really looking forward to happened to be the major letdown. The actual pure tea was really mediocre, but there was a surprise in that tisane, the Yaopan. When I first saw it in this unboxing, I was a little bit disappointed, but it turned out to be pretty good. So I want to start here by saying I love the idea of a tea subscription box, and I love some of the ideas presented by the Sips By box in particular. The variety of vendors they draw from is nice, and the idea of curating your tea based on a survey is really cool, but I didn't like how limiting the survey was. Overall, I wasn't too thrilled with the box. While I could definitely see this being someone's cup of tea, it isn't really what I look for in a tea subscription box. And with that, I know you're all wondering, what do I look for in a tea subscription box? Well, it's 3 main things. Number 1, more tea. So when I say more tea, I only mean a bit more. The quantity of types of tea here is really good, but a large amount of each tea would be excellent. Giving such a small amount of tea here really doesn't give enough room to experiment or explore with the teas. Giving the 6 to 8 grams of each tea that they give here is really not enough to experiment or explore with, and upping the amount so a few different sessions can be had with a tea would be a major plus. Number 2, pure tea. While I understand why this box specifically has blends and tisanes in it, I'm personally looking for just pure tea. There are a few tea club boxes that do this, but they are few and far between. I'm not really interested in the blends or tisanes, so it's not what I'm looking for. If you like them though, the blend and tisane I got in this box were actually pretty good, and I do recommend them. Number 3, interesting teas. Now, you might have guessed from the name of this channel, but I'm really interested in the more strange and interesting teas. What I want in a box is a few high-quality, interesting teas that I wouldn't have found otherwise. Providing stuff like a basic Baimudan or generic oolong isn't really what I want in this box. Instead, something much more unique and interesting would be much more appreciated in its spot. Now, let's talk about the price point. Now, clearly implementing those kind of changes would clearly raise the price point a good bit. I think that's definitely fair, but I think a good offset to this is changing the delivery time to quarterly instead of monthly. This would balance out the price so it'd be a lot more affordable overall. Now, none of these things are really done by a tea company as far as I know, and if you have any ideas on places to look, please let me know in the comments below. I think that the Verdant Tea subscription box is the closest to matching any of these. They have a large supply of pure tea from all over China, though it is still restricted to only China because that's where all their farmers are located. And also they intend to include a lot of the tiny samples that I'm not really a fan of. A while back I subscribed to one of their boxes, and it was the Dankong Oolong Month box. So it was a variety of different Dankong Oolongs, and it was a really interesting box. I really enjoyed it. However, it had a bunch of small samples that were really annoying. I would have much rather had a few bigger bags instead. The small samples make sense for a rare or more expensive tea, however, it is relied upon a bit too much for my taste. Now, this is just what I want in a box, and you might have different ideas. You might like this box just fine, and that's great. You might also want something completely different, and if you do, please let me know in the comments what that is. I'm really interested in hearing what y'all think about it. Alright, that's all for this video. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content from me in the future, please consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell to see the videos when they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.